Hi, thank you. Fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining us on this beautiful Sunday here at the House of Pacific Relations International Cottages stage. House of Pacific Relations, known as HPR, is a consortium of houses representing 34 different cultures, promoting multicultural goodwill and understanding through educational and cultural programs. My name is Julia Nemeth, your MC for the day. I'm an active member of the House of Hungary. All of the houses that you see around you are run completely by volunteers who work hard all year long to keep the houses open and to bring you exciting programs like these lawn programs to you all year round. Your support by coming out to watch our lawn programs, joining the different houses as a member, and of course your generous donations are always greatly appreciated and needed. Now at this time, I would like everyone to please stand in preparation for the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask you to remove your hats and place your hands over your hearts. After the Pledge of Allegiance, we will sing the American and the Hungarian national anthems. Right hand over our heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we're going to go ahead and sing the American National Anthem. We're going to do it a cappella, so I ask you all to join in, please. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, thank you all. Go ahead and take a seat. One of the long-standing traditions of the HPR is, of course, our Queens Association, a collection of young women who act as ambassadors of their cultural houses and serve the city of San Diego through various acts of service. At this time, I would like to introduce to you the princesses of the House of Hungary.
Hello, my name is Isabel Kramonsi-Cover, and this is my sister Ashley. Together we volunteer as princesses of the HPR Queens Association, representing the House of Hungary.
We are proud to represent our culture, and we hope you enjoy the following highlights about Hungary and the Hungarian culture.
Hungarians form a unique culture and speak a language unlike any other in its region. Hungary is a small but robust country of nearly 10 million people and is located in the heart of the European continent, just east of Austria, bordering Slovakia, Ukraine, Romania, Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia. But Hungarians aren't limited to the European continent. In multiple waves since the early 1900s, just as our ancestors came from the east many centuries ago, Hungarians have continued to expand west into North America, South America, the European Union, and all around the globe, searching for a place to live their lives and make their fortune. According to the latest census, here in beautiful San Diego, there are nearly 900 households that speak Hungarian at home.
Despite having unique culture and language, Hungary is the birthplace of many world-famous inventors, scientists, explorers, composers, actors, and famous athletes. One of the most well-known places you'll find the mark of Hungarian talent is in the entertainment industry. According to the Associated Press, people with claims to Hungarian ancestry have been nominated for Academy Awards over 136 times since 1929, when the first Oscars were handed out. There's a popular old tale about a sign that hangs on a movie studio wall that reads, "It's not enough to be Hungarian, you also have to have talent." The joke refers to how a relatively small country has had such an impact on the history of movies.
Among the many famous names in Hollywood you'll find the founder of Fox Studios, William Fox, and the founder of Paramount Pictures, Adolf Zukor. Andy Vajna, producer of action films like Total Recall, Terminator, Die Hard, and Rambo First Blood. Mihai Kertész, director of Casablanca. Laszlo Kovacs, cinematographer of the original Ghostbusters movie. Miklos Rozsa, music composer for Ben-Hur. Notorious Hollywood screenwriter Joe Esterházy. And most recently, the Best Foreign Language Film winner, Son of Saul, written and directed by Laszlo Nemes.
Many actors and actresses also have Hungarian family roots, including Bela Lugosi, the original Dracula, legendary actor Paul Newman, who will live on for younger generations as the voice of Doc Hudson in Disney Pixar's Cars movies, Mariska Hargitay of Law & Order SVU, and her father Miklos Hargitay, Mr. Universe 1955, Rachel Weisz of the Mummy movies, whose father was a Hungarian-born inventor, Adrian Brody of The Pianist and recently Hotel Budapest, and actor/comedian Louis C.K., who uses the letters C and K in his last name because his Hungarian last name has too many letters.
Prominent Americans with Hungarian heritage also include Steven Spielberg, Jerry Seinfeld, and musician Paul Simon. While there is a long list of Hollywood celebrities, we would like to remind you that Hungarians are also a very intellectual group. They've won countless Nobel Prizes, one of the highest rankings per capita for Nobel Prizes, more than Japan, China, India, Australia, or Spain, in almost all categories. Other famous Hungarians are journalist and founder of the Pulitzer Prize, Joseph Pulitzer, inventor of the ballpoint pen, Laszlo Biro, and Imo Rubik of the Rubik's Cube, just to name a few. Sports figures with Hungarian roots include Tim Howard, goalie for the USA soccer team, Joe Namath, Super Bowl champion and quarterback Hall of Famer, and tennis champion Monica Seles, winner of all major titles include Wimbledon and the US Open, are also of Hungarian descent.
While we won't keep listing all the many famous Hungarians, we do welcome you to visit the House of Hungary, where our volunteers have created engaging and exciting displays of all things Hungarian. Guests often compliment the interior design of the house, as well as the multitude of displays. Many visitors say they learn something new each time they visit.
It is important to note, too, that there is something else that keeps bringing visitors back to us: the legendary Hungarian hospitality that our people are known for. Come enjoy the hospitality of our own workers, who happily work hard to support our house and are pleased to share their love of Hungarian culture. Please be sure to visit our food tent for a taste of Hungarian cuisine, whether a spiced sausage with true Hungarian paprika, a sweet palacsinta, best known as crepes, filled with jam or chocolate, our famous langos, which is delicious fried bread with sour cream, cheese, and butter garlic that we are not serving today, or a cool cup of cherry soup with ice cream.
Lastly, while the Hungarian language is said to be tricky and thought to be one of the most difficult languages in the world to learn, we want to leave you with a couple of very simple Hungarian words. Thank you, or köszönöm, for listening to our program today. And our informal goodbye, which can be interchanged for hello, is quite simply szia.
We hope you enjoyed today's program. Köszönöm.
Thank you, and szia.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabel and Ashley. Love those outfits. Grandma's amazing, right? And of course, Mom. Thank you guys for getting the girls associated with the house. Thank you. And of course, now we are very happy to welcome back to San Diego the Hurok Band right here behind me. They come to us all the way from Los Angeles, so thank you for taking that trip. Interestingly, not one of them is actually Hungarian. But they absolutely love the music and have become a staple of our lawn program each year. They will play for us some songs from Transylvania, a song from Kolotaszeg, as well as a Roma or Gypsy song from Százsavas. So welcome, Hurok Band. right, thank you Urok Band, thank you dancers, thank you so much for being here today, for making it all the way. Now we also have some special guests here. We have a group of dancers from right here in Balboa Park. Their group leader David here is going to go ahead and make some introductions for you, and then we've got them on stage.
My name's Good Day. For those of you who don't speak, I speak just kicsit magyarul. As the Queens were up here, they were introducing, and they made mention of the fact that the Hungarians or the Magyars came from the east, actually from possibly the Ural Mountains or further. And so the music has a little bit more of an eastern flavor. You'll see that as we dance. We're going to start our program with a chardash. Chardash is kind of the national dance, you might say, of Hungary. Usually it comes in two parts. It comes in a slow part, a lassan or lassú, and that's followed by a friss or a fast part. And you'll see that as we do now. Turn to the one that you love next to you and say, Kedvesem, my dear. This is Kedves Chardash, my dear Chardash. Next we have a dance called Tarikas dance, which literally means a circle dance, but we do it mostly in a line. And following that, we've got a women's dance called Somogy Karikazo, which is also a circle dance from the Somogy region. It's an all-women's dance. several centuries, Hungary was allied with Austria in what was called the Austro-Hungarian Empire. That was broken apart into various countries after World War I. One of the things that was important if you were a young man living in the Austro-Hungarian Empire was to get a good occupation. And apparently one of the great ways to get an occupation was to join the military. Either that or some people said, well, it's because they wanted to get the young men drunk and dancing and get their name on the dotted line, signed up to serve the army. So anyway, they have a dance style. It's actually found all over Hungary, and it's called the Verbok, which literally is a recruiting dance. We'd like to do now a recruiting dance. Following that, we've got a Csardas, and then we're going to end with Tuborozsa. So, and then we'll be back a little later on the program with something special for you. So now a recruiting dance, a Csardas, and Tuborozsa.
Fantastic. Thank you all. One more round of applause for our dancers. Beautiful. They will be back later. Mika Sönyu. At this time, I would like to introduce to you one of a special treat here. His name is Emil Luxemburg. He is a violin maestro, and he'll go ahead and introduce the songs that he'll be playing for you.
Hello, I will play today not only Hungarian music but also by famous composers who live in Transylvania. They live in France, Kozma, and they wrote Autumn Leaves and Nina Rota. The Romanian Hungarian people who lived in Transylvania region, and they're very famous, and you know they're probably moving music, and one of them is Autumn Leaves, and I will also Hungarian dance Cserdes at the end of the program.
Okay, Emil's not going anywhere, I promise. He's absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for those first two songs. At this point, what I'd like to do is I would like to introduce to you the House of Hungary President, Adrienn Dobell. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, all of these houses are completely run by volunteers. We have a group of about 6 or 7 different leaders who kind of run the house and make sure it stays open every weekend, and of course the myriad of volunteers who are here today. So Adrienn, come and tell us exactly why today is a special day.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today is our 4th of July, and actually our long program kind of coincides with our national holiday, August 20th. And so today is August 20th, so the stars are aligned. So we can actually celebrate August 20th on August 20th here on stage. Let me just kind of make this a little lower because I'm really short. Anyway, just a few things. Just a little information about us Hungarians. As our name and country indicates, we Hungarians are the descendants of various Hun and Magyar tribes. Under the leadership of Attila, the Huns established the famous Hun Empire in the 5th century, stretching from Germany to the Ural Mountain and from the river Danube to the Baltic Sea, at the center of today's Hungary. After the sudden and untimely death of the Huns' leader Attila, in 453 AD, the empire vanished. The Hungarian tribes, with the leadership of Arpad, reconquered the Carpathian Basin and established the state of Hungary in 896 AD. Stephen was born Vajk, son of Geza, descending directly from the line of Arpad. He knew that in order to be considered a serious player in the world, his young nation would need to convert to Western Christianity and align itself with Rome, becoming Hungary's first Christian king, and thus the founder of the Kingdom of Hungary. Ever since his canonization to sainthood in 1083, Hungarians have been celebrating the birth of Hungary on his name day. Today, August 20th, is St. Stephen's Day, Hungary's main national holiday. Following his father's death in 997 AD, Stephen inherited the title of Grand Prince of Hungary. He was crowned King of Hungary in 1000 AD with a crown from Pope Sylvester II. He issued a decree to build churches in every settlement with more than 10 families and made it a law for people to attend church every Sunday. To help draw people to church, interestingly, Stephen also issued a decree that markets were to be held beside churches. This is how the word of Sunday in Hungarian became vasárnap or vásárnap, literally meaning market day. These efforts did not go unrewarded, as Pope Sylvester II granted him the title of Apostolic King and the right to use the Apostolic Double Cross, which is to this day appears on the Hungarian coat of arms. King Stephen was equally attentive to administrative affairs. Hungary was divided into 20 counties, each governed by a royal official. He also issued 2 books of law, introduced duties and taxes, and minted the first Hungarian currency. Hungary under King Stephen became a true centralized monarchy and a powerful kingdom protecting the borders of Europe, often becoming decimated as various herds from the east descended upon the west, such as the Tartars, Mongols, and others. Today, Hungary is a free democratic country and a member of the European Union. This is St. Stephen's legacy. Okay, so back again, it's Emily Luxembourg with some more really great Hungarian songs for you.
Fantastic. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, Emir. Okay, so in addition to all of our wonderful folk traditions and musical introductions, I would also like to invite my children. Attila Németh, named after, of course, the Hun, Attila the Hun, and his little brother Levente. And so we decided that we would introduce some folk songs to all of you, some sung folk songs. Now, of course, composers and musicians have gone out into the depths of ancient Hungary and tried to find and catalog all of the folk songs. Now, if you can imagine, one of them, Bartók, had gathered about 11,000 folk songs. So what are you guys doing for the next half hour? No, I'm kidding. It's impossible to do 11,000 folk songs. We picked out 4. So what we did is we picked out kind of my favorite, Attila's favorite, Levi's favorite. And then actually what we're going to do is we're going to teach you all a Hungarian folk song too. So get ready to sing. Put your singing hats on. Everybody, me, 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 right? So this first song that Attila has chosen, it's a song that we actually learned just recently. And we sing it in the Hungarian Scouts. So if any of you are familiar with Scouts, it is a worldwide movement trying to bring youth up in the right character and support. With the Hungarian Scouts, the only difference is that we actually focus a lot on Hungarian culture and Hungarian history and the language. So it's Scouts Plus. This is one of the songs that he actually learned in the Scouts. It's called A Csitári hegyek alatt, which means under the hills of Csitár. So Attila, let's take it away. Listen.
A csitári hegyek alatt régen leesett a hó. Azt hallottam, kis angyalom, véled esett el a ló. Kitölted a kezedet, mivel ölelsz engemet. Így hát, kedves kis angyalom, nem lehetek a tiéd. Kitölted a kezedet, mivel ölelsz engemet. Így hát, kedves kis angyalom, nem lehetek a tiéd.
Beautiful, thank you. Now the little one, Levente, was named after an old pagan Hungarian prince, one of the last pagan Hungarian princes. And he's a little bit more shy, so I'm gonna kneel down here next to him, and his favorite song is called Erdő, Erdő, Erdő. Now this song is about a forest. The word erdő is forest. So I'm gonna get down here, we're gonna group up, ready?
A babámnak, csárdás kis angyalom, érted a szívem nagyon.
Do you guys want to stay and help me finish? You guys want to go sit down? Okay. Okay. So that's them. We're going to go and finish it out. The next song that I love, it's my favorite song. And I'm going to try to get through it without dropping a tear or two, because it really talks about leaving home. Now, I was born in the US, so what do I know about leaving home, right? But I did. I went to Hungary. I left home. I left the US. I went to Hungary for a year, and I fell in love with it. I felt like I was at home the minute I stepped off the plane. Now I'm here, and I've made my own little home here with the House of Hungary. But this song is very special, so please feel free to sing along if you know it. It's called Elindultam szép hazámból. Elindultam szép hazámból, híres kis Magyarországról. Visszanéztem félútamból, szememből a könny kicsordul. Bú ebédem, bú vacsorám, boldogtalan minden órám. Nézem a csillagos eget, sírok alatta eleget. Ó Istenem, adjál szállást, már meguntam a bújdosást. Idegen földön a lakás, éjjel-nappal lassú sírás. Okay, now the next one, you guys are going to join me with this one. Some of you know it. The chorus of it is basically, it's a kid's song. So it talks about the lights being on at the Virág family and they're roasting frog. And basically we pick out two names and we kind of go through the movements of it, but you basically say we run to the fire when we grabbed a frog's leg and we chewed on it, and then, you know, I'm going to use my kids' names, Altilo and Levi. They run over and they're only left with like the tail, or they're left with the ears, or something else silly and fun that kids love to do. The point is, the part that you guys are going to sing, it goes like this. It goes, zimme zoom, rece pizza, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now this is easy, right? Zimme zoom, rece pizza, boom, boom, boom. Ready? Sing it with me. Zimme zoom, rece pizza, boom, boom, boom. Perfect. So I'm going to sing the chorus, I'm going to sing the verse, and then I'll kind of point to everybody and you'll sing the zimme zoom part, and then we'll three verses, so 3 choruses. Ready? Virágéknál ég a világ, sütik már a rántott békát, zimme zoom, rece pizza, bum bum bum. Német Ati oda kapott békacombot, ropogtatott, zimme zoom, rece pizza, bum bum bum. Levente is odafutott, neki csak a farka jutott, zimme zoom, rece pizza, bum bum bum. That's it. You have now officially learned a Hungarian folk song. Congratulations. Okay, so that was fun. We've had some fun, we've had some songs. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to find, there we go, Ola Lili. Now she's one of our students here at the school. The Ola family is very strong in the Hungarian school, and her mom's a teacher here with the Hungarian school, and her brother, they both go to school here. So Lili, if you wouldn't mind, come on out here, introduce yourself and the song that you're going to be playing for us today.
Hi, I'm going to be playing the Hungarian Dances number 5 by
Thank you, Lily. Okay, so next, it's something that we haven't done before, and it's going to be a kind of a poetry reading, very, very short. And the reason for it is the following. We had a Hungarian writer-journalist who lived here in San Diego. His name was Sándor Márai, and he lived right across the Balboa Park here on 6th Avenue. And he lived here for 9 years, from 1980 to 1989. And he was born in 1900 in Kassa. It used to be Hungary, now it's Slovakia. And he authored 46 books. And he was the very first one who reviewed Franz Kafka's work. He decided, after traveling around, he'd been to Berlin, Frankfurt, Paris, he decided to write on in his mother tongue, Hungarian. And it wasn't published until the 1990s, because some of his works were pretty controversial. But because our first sheriff in San Diego was Hungarian, his name was Ágoston Haraszti, thank you. I figured, why don't we introduce another Hungarian who lived here, and he was as I said, a journalist or writer. So what we decided to do with Mirella Suga, that we're going to read one of his poems that were translated, and actually it became part of a book, and the translator is a Hungarian physicist who lives here and never been to Hungary but speaks perfect Hungarian. His name is Peter Cipot. I'm not sure he's here right now. I wish he was, because it's from his book, this poem. It's called Magyar Emberek, or Hungarians. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do one verse in Hungarian and the other verse in English, so you can kind of follow along instead of just reading the whole thing in Hungarian and you're not gonna have any clue, okay? So I will start in Hungarian, and then Mirella will be doing it in English. Márai Sándor, Magyar Emberek. Irdatlan régi fennsíkok tavaiból maradt valami a szemükben, keverve azzal a hegykefénnyel, ami oktalan revolvert ad a kezükbe. Nem jók és nem rosszabbak, mint más. Csak visznek valamit magukkal Európa, Ázsia, Afrika és Amerika országútjain, amitől nyugtalanabb a levegő.
Sándor Márai, Hungarians. Something from the lakes of great ancient highlands remains in their eyes. Mixed with a cocky light that puts revolvers in their hands for no reason. They're neither good nor worse than others. They just take something along on the highways of Europe, Asia, Africa, and America that makes the air unsettled.
A halálukban van valami a vadállatok gőgös szemérméből, és ahogy elnéznek a fájdalom fölött, azt nehezen értik meg persze a francia légió őrmesterei, vagy a német idegorvosok. Mindegyik ég egy kissé, és tűzveszélyesek, és levelet ritkán hagynak maguk után.
Their death has something of the wild beast's haughty reticence, and French Legion sergeants and German neurologists have trouble, of course, understanding how they can overlook pain. Every one of them burns a little. They're fire hazards, and they rarely leave letters behind.
A konzulátusok költségén temetik őket, és a halál oka ismeretlen. Négyszögletes homlokkal orosznál oroszabban tudnak bandukolni egy ötlet után. Deccigánymód dobnak el családot és barátokat, ha berúgnak a kávéházban, mert izgatottabb a levegő, ahol ők vannak. És a nyugtalanságuk közös, a padlásszobák kétes zsenieinek gyertyalángjaival, vagy a strombóli céltalan, vörös dühével éjszaka, ha kövekkel döngeti a fekete eget. És mindennel, ami reménytelen erővel lobog ezen a világon, és emészti önmagát nyavajatörős dühével, korlátok és civilizáció között.
They're buried at the consulate's expense and their cause of death unknown. Square-browed, they can pursue an idea more doggedly than a Russian, but gypsy-like, they'll toss friends and family aside when getting drunk at the coffee house. Because the air is more keyed up where they are, and their restlessness is one with the flickering flames of questionable geniuses in their garrets, or Stromboli's purposeless scarlet nighttime rage that batters the black sky with stones, and with everything that flutters with the hopeless force in this world, consuming itself, in spastic rage stuck between constraints and civilizations.
De egészen hiába majmolnak Angliust vagy párizsi selyemfiút, mert a szemükben visszamaradt valami irdatlan régi fennsíkok tavainak csillogásából, és úgy égnek el néha a világpusztáink, mint a pásztortüzek. A szavukat az Isten sem érti már, és elkallódnak valami ködben, veled és velem és öregapánkkal. Mert magyar emberek vagyunk. Emberek, magyar emberek. A ködben testvéreim, véreim és testeim.
But they imitate English squires or Parisian gigolos entirely in vain, for some of the sparkle of the great ancient Highland lakes has remained, and they sometimes burn up like shepherds' campfires in the world's wastelands. God himself no longer understands their words, and they wander off in some fog. With you, and with me, and with our grandfathers, because we're Hungarian men. Men, Hungarians, in the fog of my blood brothers, my blood, and my brothers.
Thank you so much. You guys are a fantastic audience. Give yourselves a hand. You guys have been hanging out here with us for almost an hour. So listen, here's what we're going to do. Some of you guys have heard that Adrienn Dobell was Hungarian. Who knew? He was the inventor of this fantastic cube here. Now this is not Adrienn Dobell. This is his predecessor, his ancestor, his descendant. He's Adrienn Dobell reincarnated. He's a genius when it comes to the Rubik's Cube. I love this kid. His name is Oliver, and remember the girl that played piano so beautifully, Lily? Yeah, this is her little brother, so talent clearly runs in the family. So this is the Rubik's Cube. It is a 3D combination puzzle invented in '74 by Hungarian sculptor and professor of architecture Adrienn Dobell. Originally it was called the Magic Cube. The puzzle was licensed by Rubik to be sold by Ideal Toy Corporation in 1980 when it won the German Game of the Year Special Award for Best Puzzle. As of January 2009, which is now quite a few years ago, 350 million cubes were sold worldwide, making it the world's top-selling puzzle game. It is widely considered to be the world's best-selling toy. Who has or had a Rubik's Cube growing up? Now, of all these hands, who actually solved it? Okay, all right, we've got a few. I did not. I was not that special, not that wonderful. But now we have Oliver here who's going to tell us just a little bit about some of these wonderful cubes that he's got. So if you can't see, you can feel free to bring your chair around front a little bit, get yourself readjusted. But he's got just a few things. Let me adjust it to his height.
Hi, welcome to Balboa Park. This is the solved state of the Rubik's Cube, and this is what they call the checkerboard pattern because it looks a lot like a checkerboard. Here we have the 2x2, which is a little smaller than the 3x3 because it doesn't have edge pieces, which have 2 stickers on them, and it doesn't have center pieces. The main thing that makes a Rubik's Cube work is the core, which you can see here. So when you turn a side, this is basically all you're doing. First of all, the checkerboard pattern cannot be made on the 2x2 because it has no edge pieces or center, so it doesn't work that well, but you can do these two colors like swapped. The cube I really want to show you is the 2x2x4 power cube. Now this is a pretty special cube because first of all, it's really tall and it's like two 2x2s glued onto each other. But the really cool thing about it can shapeshift. This is what I call the 2x2 trophy. Or top. cube. It's called the mirror cube. It's not colors that you have to solve, but it's shapes. So when you turn it, it gets offset. And all the cubies are a different size. So that's pretty hard to solve, but I managed to do it. The next thing that I want to show you, it's not a cube, but it's called the Rubik's Magic. The object of this is to connect these three loops as so. The next thing I would like to tell you is the record for this 3x3. It's really insane because someone managed to solve it in 4 minutes and 73 milliseconds. That's really fast. 4 seconds and 73 milliseconds. Now that's really fast. But my best time is 1 minute. But be prepared for this. This is really cool. Someone solved the 2x2 in 58 milliseconds. 0 seconds and 58 milliseconds. Not even a second. That's insane. But the person who solved the 3x3 in that really short time, which is 4 seconds, was Felix Zemdegs. I'm not sure who solved it that fast, solved the 2x2 that fast. But a really cool cube that I would like to show you next is called the void cube. And as you have noticed, there is no center. So that basically defies the Rubik's Cube physics. Because without this, a 3x3 would not work. But somehow they managed to make this. There's a type of rail that this glides on. I'm not sure if you can see that, but oh well. The 4x4 is a harder and bigger version of the 3x3, which is a lot like the 2x2, because it has no centerpiece. And it has 4 centerpieces, basically. I have not solved this one because it's really hard and yeah, it's too big for my size.
He's got to grow into it. His hand's got to get bigger.
And my brain.
And your brain.
The snake. Oh yeah. The snake is not really a puzzle, but it's a toy that you can make shapes with. It's also created by Rubik, but it doesn't qualify as a Rubik's Cube. The last thing I would like to show you is the timer. People at championships use this timer in this mat to measure down how much time they can solve the Rubik's Cube. Turn it on with the power button, and then when you put your hands on it, it starts the time. So now it's measuring time. And I put my hands back on it, it stops. So that's how they measure how fast does it. But another thing is, if you don't completely solve the Rubik's Cube, like it's not completely turned to the other side like this will count as a DNF or a did not finish. So that their time would not count entirely. Another DNF is when you don't stop or you don't start the timer, because the person might be too excited to slap on it, but it might not register. So they're running around, and then they see like, oh crud, I forgot to stop it. Yes. I can sort of make the checkerboard pattern on this one though. Looks like this, but the top isn't checkerboarded, because, or else the top and bottom would not be able to look like this. So that's mainly what I want to show you.
Oliver, thank you. You are amazing. Now, normally Normally I would have called up a bunch of people up here to do a contest and see who can beat his time, but I'll save you all the embarrassment. So what we're going to do now, we're going to finish up the program. Thank you all again for being here. We've got the Balboa dancers coming back. I would like to also remind all of you to please go and finish up all the food that we have there. We've got sausage sandwiches, we have crepes, and we have some cold cherry soup back at the House of Hungary. So now it is my pleasure to reintroduce to you the Balboa dancers.
Well, you've seen the aspect of Hungary that's very traditional, and we've also seen some modern stuff with Rubik's Cube. We're going to take you back to the old country, to the old time, but not quite that old. Because of the close proximity of Budapest to Vienna, a lot of the Hungarian composers actually went to Austria and to Vienna and learned how to compose and compose there. Some of you probably heard of a fellow by the name of Franz Lehár, who was a Hungarian that composed mostly in Austria. And he came up with a number of the Merry Widow waltzes, Merry Widow, operetta is very famous. We're going to do for you a little excerpt from Gold and Silver from Franz Lehár.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate all of you and your attention today. Please come back every Sunday. We have lawn programs at all of the different houses, so please take a look around. Come and visit our booth, and if you have any questions, we'll all be around. But a big, huge thank you to Peter, who's our sound engineer today. Thanks, Peter. And thank you to all of the House of Hungary board and leadership and all of its volunteers for putting on this program, for all of our performers, dancers, and singers. Thank you. And thank you all to HBR for being the host to such a wonderful way of bringing cultures together. Thank you all.